Space only a mother love.
Hey. Look alive. We are live.
All right.
Ready?
Oh, that just happened. All right. So, yeah.
So we're recording on both now, right?
Yep. We're on here, and right there.
I mean, I feel like a rookie right now. Like, we haven't did this in a while.
It's been a while, man.
How many times have we met? Well, like maybe 4 or 5 episodes, at least easily behind?
Yeah. Easy. I think minimum 3, I think. Easy.
So, hey, man, it's Put a Stamp on It podcast. If you follow us on all the major social media platforms. You're always going to hear us say that. If not, just follow us on our actual web pages too as well. Facebook, Instagram. I think we kind of post a lot of interesting content inside and outside of real estate, 100%. I'm Gary Frosto. This is my partner,
Mr. Jose Arellano.
And we are live, and we just want to touch bases with everybody. Man, I think a lot's like, hey, it's been a couple weeks, but dang, I mean, a lot's been on.
Yeah, a lot of shit's been going on.
I mean, we're talking everything from football, talking to Teslas. We're talking about
working out,
finding faith, working out, getting closer to Spartan Challenge. I mean, it's integrated. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, we could literally probably talk for a while, but
yeah, I know.
And real estate too.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of stuff, man. Yeah, so thanks again for everyone joining in. Celso on all the social media platforms. We thank you guys. So without much further ado,
let's kick it off. Here's what I want to start with, guys. So my partner here just picked up a Tesla, and I've never been in one. Yeah, I see them everywhere. So all this started how long ago? Maybe 2-3 weeks ago?
It was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, he goes out of town, blows something on, had to repair something on a vehicle, comes back, and is like, I'm getting a Tesla.
Yeah. I'm like, no, sorry. Let me look into getting a Tesla.
Why a Tesla?
And because first off, I thought they were completely out of reach, right? We thought, man, it's expensive. And then they told, my wife's like, you can get one for like 30,000. I'm like, yeah. So let me check it out. So I look into it, and sure enough, there's one for 30,000, the base model. But you add a couple things, and if you don't know anything about Tesla, they have a bunch of different options that you can pick from.
Right.
And so we thought, you know what? Supercharging, gas, something newer.
Right.
We thought, okay, it's the future. Well, let's go check it out. So
we're in Bakersfield. So I mean, what's the process when it came to it? I mean, you had to literally, because there's no dealership here, right?
No. Everything is done online.
How does that feel as a consumer looking online? Because I mean, we'll go online and buy things like at Amazon, but but buying a vehicle?
Yeah, it especially for like a Tesla, because you can go online like CarMax and different websites, and okay, this is what I want. You plug it in, it spits it out.
Right.
But with Tesla, I had a lot of questions. And most of the times, you're right, we don't have a Tesla rep here. I personally don't like going to the online chat rooms and, hey, let me ask this question, wait for a response.
Next thing you know, weirdos hitting you up, asking you to sign your DM.
Hey, what's up? Oh my God.
Not today, sir. Not
Come
today.
to my house. Sorry, Johnson, not today. So when we first got into it, went to Tesla.com, looked at it, made my own car, and then it tells you it's this much and this much. You add this other stuff.
So do you feel like that process of going online before you went out to the store, do you feel like that was, was it easy?
It was
user-friendly.
It was user-friendly and easy, but that it was scary because it was so easy.
Okay.
Right? You just fill up pretty much an application online. They call you up. Hey, when would you come in and try to set your test drive? You go in for a test drive with the specific model that you actually are looking to get.
Okay.
So you got the Model 3, you got the Model S, the X, and the Y, right? So I went with the Model S one because if you look at it, I can go into detail as to like why we picked that one, but it was, in my opinion, the more bang for your buck. It's just as fast. It's sleek. It's new. Like it was a no-brainer for me.
So I have a question. Initially, when you go buy vehicles, and nothing against car salesmen, but you kind of go in there. It's kind of a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You're like, they really don't go into deep. Unless you further the questions about the motor and you're a real car enthusiast, it's just like, hey, it has Bluetooth, and hey, you can hook up your navigation, stuff like that. And it doesn't really feel like a personal interaction so much, I guess.
Right.
How was the hands-on when you went? Because when you called me, you were like, hey, I'm going through my course right now. Or it was what was it?
It was they had the
tutorial.
Yeah. The tutorial there.
So like, what's the hands-on process? Do you feel like it's a lot more?
So the hands-on
Less
from
salesy and all that?
When we got in there, it was really, really simple. The only thing that bugs me, and I will let it out there, let it be known that once we got there, it was okay, sign this, sign this. No one knew what the hell to help us out. We were supposed to be there for the orientation.
Okay.
We never made it to the damn orientation. They're like, yeah, it'll be in 15 minutes. Okay, cool. But they were so busy, bro, that they just, people would just come in. You here to pick up? Yeah. Sign here, sign here. You got a check? Okay,
That's
sign
crazy.
here. Here's your card for your car. Okay, thank you. Now we'll have orientation. Would you like some water? And it was just packed, dude. A lot of people. So then I went to I wasn't getting any answers. They had 2 departments. They wouldn't give me any answers. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Let me go next door. Because some dudes are sitting at the desk. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, I'm here for orientation. Can you help me out? I'm sorry, we're sales. We don't know anything. I said, wait a minute. So you work with Tesla. You have no clue when the orientations are. At this point, I'm getting a little upset because I'm like, I've been waiting there for 15 minutes. Nothing. No one can help me for the shit. I'm like, you know what? I'll do what everyone else usually does when you know how to do something. Google it. Go on YouTube. So I told my wife, you know what? Let's go home. On the way home, we'll YouTube everything. And they give us so much information. So thank you to all the YouTubers and what's Teslas. Definitely helped us out. But leading up to that point, it was extremely easy. Really easy to come in. Hey, here's your car. It's waiting. Download the app. And then you unlock it and you honk the horn and flash the lights. We're like, oh my God. You scare them? Because you can do everything from your app, man. It's really, really amazing.
So in kind of this whole realm of things are all more based online now and more fluid and trying to make things more easy. And I mean, this goes for our business. This goes for, everything, right?
Yeah, everything.
Do you see a point where car sales up front, the way they do it now, can eventually be pushed? Like they can lose, like there be no longer salesmen that are so much on the floor.
Yeah, because the way they worked it is that they have no haggle policy. Right. You come in, it is what you pay. This was you want it or not.
And that's kind of like with the CarMax, there's no haggle. So you think about it. You go online, you put your order in, you show up. You literally can pay someone hourly, or to just basically just walk you through how to use the vehicle to be your online guide, and it's done. There might be there's like a virtual person that just pops up and says,
you know what? Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen eventually, because there was so many people there that the one-on-one with, I stopped someone at Tesla. Hey, where's orientation? I'm helping them out. I'll be right back. I waited. Then they take them off and they go somewhere else. So I think the one-on-one chemistry or that organic, hey, what's up? How's it going? Let me show you. Like, oh, shit went out the door.
So I was reading somebody's post earlier, and they were talking about how they were at a store here in town, and they referred to the person. They were like, yeah, I was here at the store. I was at Best Buy. And I stopped a kid and I asked for help, and he kind of looked at me like, I'm not this department. You have to go over there. Right. So I feel like there's still that, maybe it might not be now, but you can tell, like when you watch, and I find myself doing the same thing too, right? Because we're in sales. We work with customers. Like you go to places and your expectation is that they're going to offer you this great customer service and they're going to walk you through everything. But then on the flip side, everything is either online, it's moving fast, you want it now. And it's almost like whenever people are getting paid a higher commission or a higher compensation to offer that service, you're going to get a better hands-on experience. Right. The more that cuts out, you're getting somebody who's just doing their position. And it's almost like you got to accept the fact that that's just what they're doing, their job.
And that sucks, dude. That's so true.
Right. But I mean, it's click experience that is gone, Yeah. So I think we always had this conversation about, hold me back to Tesla. So you show up today.
Oh man. It's like the new cool kid in the school. I felt so, oh man, wow, I'm awesome. But it was cool because everyone walks in, and first off, right out the gate, you see a Tesla. Oh, it's in our office. Oh, whose is it? Whose is it? And I'm just like, oh, it's a low me. I got it.
Yeah.
Well, you knew because I told you.
I'm so chill. Well, first off, I'm going to work. I'm driving my big old Tahoe that's in gas. I'm like driving. I'm like, I see the white car coming, and I see like this bald-headed guy, short, driving, and I'm like, hey man, look at that cholo with a Tesla. So then it passes by me. And then as soon as I'm like, man, where's Jose? I see your backpack. I run in. I'm like, he has to be here somewhere. I see your backpack. I'm like, dang, he's not here. I see the car pull up. I see Tony get out. Yeah. And Tony's driving. And I'm like, oh, you're the cholo driving the Tesla. So like, take me in it.
Yeah. So no, you got to drive it. So he gets in it. And
I'm going to post the video later.
A quick tutorial here and there. But what are your thoughts on it? Just the first time getting in and driving
dude,
it?
I want one. It's so sleek. It's like it makes your car feel stupid that you have right now. Like you're like, hey, my car's stupid. Like,
hey, did Joe Rogan say that? He's like,
that's where I got it from. It's just like it's nice. I mean, it's just clean cut. It's to the point. And then I mean, on top of that, I mean, we went and gunned it.
Yeah.
I mean, I put it on my side. What? Oh, it was like pulling me back. I was like, it felt like I was on a Superman ride.
Yeah, it's got that zip, man, and it'll knock you back.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready for it, there's 2 modes. There's chill mode and then standard. We tried out the chill mode. You step on it, it still picks up pretty good even on that.
Yeah.
But then once you put it on standard on the driving mode, you just snap back real quick. But the thing I like about it the most is that the seats are very, very comfortable.
I wasn't even paying attention much to that. I was just so excited about seeing how fast it goes. Yeah. I hear Joe Rogan always talking about it. And that's not even, dude, we got to get in one that's like the super, super fast.
The fast one that they have the Roadster. That one starts off at 250,000. Man, but they have the SUV one, the X.
Yeah,
that's the fastest
one.
Faster than
if I had to get one, I had to get one of those because I got too many kids.
Yeah, but it's so sweet though.
But man,
it's a fun ride,
dude.
Fun drive for sure.
Dude, seeing you pull up in that, bro, seeing you go from looking at it and then buying it and then knowing that like your wife was on board with it, because I mean, can't get most spouse on board for something like that. Yeah. But man, dude, I mean, I was excited for you, bro. Like, I'm like, man, you deserve it.
You
work your ass off to be in the position just to have something like that. You know, sometimes I mean, why not treat yourself? You know, I mean, you're giving back to the environment. You're running the battery,
right? Yeah,
you're not wasting gas. I mean, we always need one person to test it out before we go jump into it,
right?
And then I mean, shoot, they were saying next year they're supposed to pass a law where it's going to be all California is going to be is now shooting to be electric based. And they were saying too about like they're looking to have Uber and Lyft are looking to do their own electric vehicles. So now they can start.
And you know what? The reason, because on mine, I'm leasing because you brought it to my attention. You're like, dude, I think it'd be better for you to lease. You get cars every 3 to 4 years. You know me for almost 4 now, and I've gotten like 4 different cars. You're like, yeah, just change it. So I thought, you know what? I'm leasing it. So we decided to lease. But even then, some leases you can actually buy back. You're like, you know what? If we like it, can we buy it at the end? Mm-hmm. With this Tesla, this Model 3, we can't buy it back.
Yeah.
I asked the guy, why not? He's like, well, Tesla is looking to do what you said with Uber and Lyft and give electronic vehicles. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, so you don't even know what's going to be there at that time or anything like that. Yeah. But you know what, man, when it comes to buying, leasing, whatever, I mean, everybody's going to give it their opinion about what they feel about it. And that's based off their own situation. But you know what? It's your life. Do your thing.
Yeah.
You can get out of that mistake in 3 years. If it was a mistake and be like, oh, well, I'm out of it. You know what I mean? You're married to it. So it is what it is. Yeah.
No, but it's really fun. The process was easy. Customer service towards the end could have been better. But yeah, dude, the auto driving, it's scary at first, man, when you auto drive, because
I can't wait to be in that.
Some of those, when you take off, I mean, if the roads are jacked up, good luck. It'll go crazy. And you're like, got the steering wheel. And you're like, okay, you know what? Forget it. That was a bad test drive. But the more streets that are more established, that have the lines, it'll pick it up.
But surprisingly, after, you know, disclose, but I mean, like, in telling me how much your payment was, I'm like, damn, I'm paying more for my car I got. My BMW, I was like, I could have one of those, and I'm spending more on gas. I'm spending more for my Tahoe and how much I spend on gas all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's almost like a no-brainer not to do it. You know what I mean? In a sense, if you can get yourself into something like that.
All day, dude.
You know,
it's fun.
It's dope, dude.
Really fun.
That's good, man. Again, congrats.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, what else has been going on there?
One thing I want to talk about more, man, is you've been really, really into, and you know, you piqued my curiosity on it, is the Enneagram. Enneagram. And you know, I still don't know fully what it is, but I know you probably know explain it more than what it is.
I still kind of have
a lot more than
an idea.
So go ahead and talk about that, man.
Yeah, man.
It's neat.
You know, I kind of got into this whole Enneagram thing, and there's like this personality test. And then there's Enneagram, right? So shout out to my girl Melissa, because she kind of put me up on game on it, right? Because that's her bag. Like that's her. She's all into that. And we started talking about it, and she's like, "Here, take this test." And I'm always into that stuff. So like, I you know me, I'm okay with looking at my flaws, because I feel like when you can look at that, I can then work on going and getting better. What's weak, I leave where it's at, and what I can work on to be my strength. You know, I'm just open to that type of stuff, you know?
Right.
And so then I started taking it. We took the test, and then I looked at my number, and then I got excited, told you guys about it, and then me and her do a lot of talking about it, and then because that's what she teaches on it as well, and that's kind of her she extremely is really into that. And there's like another strengths test that I want to get a hold of that she's telling me about that would help out a lot. So anyway, so the Enneagram one, so it's just basically it's 8 different. I wish I would have like a thing, but it's like 8 different like personality traits, like that people fall in line with. It's like when you're at your peak best, here's how you operate when you're at your worst, and then and then if you're under stress, you can stretch out to a different one. So you can be a couple different numbers or a little bit of all numbers, but there's always one that's your strength, and it can be your weakness at that point. So I think everybody that's kind of taken the test, and it's not even the original, it's not even the full test, right? She has like a full test. This is just kind of like
that one.
I don't know. I've been trying to get a hold of it through her, but she's always busy. So, but eventually there'll be time to get it. So I'm just gonna do my thing, research to get into it. But I mean, shoot, every one of us I've taken it was like, oh shoot, like, yo, that's me. That's me at my worst. That's me at my best. So the thing that has really intrigued me about it is like, I would spend so much time, and I'm a 4. So like, if you want to Enneagram a 4, just look up Enneagram 4, you'll know my personality, like 100%. It's word for word, it feels like. And it's like, when I'm going through it, man, I'm reading it and I'm like, yo, like, all the stuff I was heavy on my shoulders about myself, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't really my problem. Like, I just had to understand that it was just me. Like, this is just my personality. This is my core. And then it offers you ways to look at things different, like ways to be aware of that. And I mean, me and you were talking about this a lot. And my thoughts are like, why not treat a relationship or your work kind of like put it in that same realm of like, you and a spouse should take the test, right? Yeah. The reason when you ask somebody like, hey, take the test, a lot of people are just like, they're either concerned about like to confront themselves or they got like that ego, like, nah, I'm good. Right. I don't have a problem. Right. This is a problem. Just, if this is going to help us communicate, because I mean, there's like love languages, books and all that kind of stuff. Right. This is going to help us communicate. This is going to help us communicate. Like, why not do this? Like, why not try to, know what I mean? I recommend really getting into that type of stuff. While you're dating and even in the middle of it, or even if you've been married for a long time, just because people change, we change, and you got to kind of know how to work together. It's kind of very at the tip of it, but it's just, I'm listening to a lot of different things that included. But like I said, just overall for me though, it made me feel like, man, like, this is me and I'm okay with it. Like, I have to accept all my flaws and then the points of how to be better with those. Right. And it's also helped out a lot. And like you said, like in talking to people, not just at work, outside of work, where it's like, I see my mind working a little slower not to say things because I don't know how that's going to affect that individual, right? And based off of their personality, I'm like, if I say something some way, they're going to take a certain way that I didn't mean it, And the old thing to be like, well, I'm just this way because that's who I am, and my childhood made me like this. Like, that's kind of like the punk way to get out of it. Like, you should just understand who you are, but know that you can work with these, to better. It's just always better in a relationship. And a relationship can be anything. It can be between you and a spouse, you and a friend. Or you could be you and a coworker, you and clients. Like, so you can apply it for you can apply for anything. Like, why not? It could be between you and a buddy that works out. Like, oh, this guy doesn't show up all the time. Yeah. Why is he just not committed? Like, if you figure out who he is, maybe there's a reason why he's not committed. Oh, okay, I got you. Let me help you out. So it can apply for everything. Initially, the first thing you do is you try to just look at yourself, right? Oh shit, and you align your past situations with it, and you're kind of like, oh. And
that's the hardest part, man, because when I took it, I'm like, I should be okay. But then once you kind of told me your personality, and I read it, I'm like, oh, okay. Then that gave me a better understanding. Oh shit, okay. And then you read mine, but I think because you had already dabbled into like the different aspects, you're like, oh yeah, that's you all day. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, your personality is this. So to deal with you, you got to do this.
Oh, nothing comes up better than when nothing comes up better when someone was talking about changing a tire at the office, wasn't it? Someone said, I got a flat tire, and you're like, yeah, oh, you got the tools, I can help you out. And I'm like, I looked at you and I was like, oh, there you go again. That's your number.
That's my personality. I like to help people.
And nothing wrong with it, but I knew that you had to do other stuff later.
Right.
So I'm like, do you think that's probably the best interest for you right now to do this, knowing you're going to rush yourself through everything else, and that's going to create all this big hassle for you?
And me, I'm like, what the hell? I want to help out. I'm like, you know what? No,
and
that's right.
It feels weird to say no.
On this.
Yeah, I can't. And they was like, okay.
Yeah. So then now I'm like,
play.
Yeah. So I was like there, and that's what it is, man. Is learning to say no, because a lot of times I give myself up so much that in return, my personality, that I'm the type that will give a lot, and if I don't get the same back in a different way, shape, or form, but at least back, or they don't hold themselves accountable, that upsets me.
Yeah.
Right.
You hold a lot of anger.
I hold a lot of anger in, and it's repressed. And I was like, holy shit, that's so true. You know, but it would, if you get it, and it's cool, man, because you're going down that rabbit hole where, hey, the mental aspect, you want to feed that need of doing something different, you know, and not only that though, but you can talk, every time you talk about it, you could talk about it for hours on end.
And shoot, man, I just want to like digest it and learn more because it's felt like it's feeding my mind, it's feeding my soul. Like, oh, dude, like this is just gonna help me communicate better, you know, because that's always something I've realized. That's like if I've got to this far in my form of communication with my ups and with my downs, like how much more better and how much more can I give back if I can understand, you know, me, and then love myself a certain way that I can become better for other individuals. Like, why not? And then naturally in my personality, that's people gravitate to that,
right,
for me, right? Because emotionally I feel more of emotions as a 4 that we work with others to give back that. So I was reading about that. I was getting into it today on some different speakers, and I was listening to it on YouTube while I was like working. I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. And it's funny because we'll send stuff back and forth to each other. I'll be like, hey, check this video out to her, and she'll be like, oh, that's a good point right here. Like, she'll send it back. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point right there too. So it's like, it ain't talking about like, hey, what are you doing today? It's just more like, did you read this? Did you read that? Or this book and stuff like that.
So different interests, you guys are able to communicate off of that and stay on the same topic.
So like, just kind of with her, like I knew she thought the way I did even before I knew that, like before we did that, like we saw each other's tests, was because like when I was reading that book Unlearn, which is freaking an amazing
Humble
book.
the Poet.
If you haven't read it, you need to read it. Get this book. His second one's coming out. I think it's coming out this month. It's on pre-order, but I want to say it's a blue book, and I think it's called like Things You Can't Teach Yourself or something like that. It's another book. So I'm excited about that. So I remember telling her, I'm like, man, this book changed my life. I'm like, the minute I read this book or I listened to the audio, I went back, I bought it, and I went through it again. I probably been through this book 4 times. And I remember coming back from LA, listening to this, and I'm like, it just click. I'm like, oh man, like I just put myself into this and a lot of different scenarios. And that was kind of the unraveling of who I felt I was and who I want to transition to, like who I really am. I told her, right? And I'm like so passionate about the way I talk about the stuff to you. And I told her that, dog, she went and got the book and got through it in like 24 hours, bro, like quick. And she's like, oh, that's a good book. And I'm like, that to me, like if that to me is like if I gave you the book and you went and read it, that's kind of the outcome I expected, because, you know, I know that you would take in that content and you trust the content I'm giving you. So for me to give that to her and her to read it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope. Like, yeah, like you ingested the content that fast just to see my thought process, my thought patterns.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, right? You're not going to take somebody for what you see. You're going to actually get a little bit deeper to be like, hey, but I respect the content that you look at. So let me understand what you're looking at.
That's crazy.
I was like, dang. So I went like, so I could have a conversation about what I was passionate about, and she could understand back and forth. So it was like, you know what I mean? So it was good for better conversation, 100%.
And that's good, because I think that's genuinely when someone is interested in, I mean, to read the book in a day. I mean,
it's even like a friend. Well, I think it's the audio she did. Either way, I think respect.
I even did listen to audio though.
Yeah,
still,
like, even like a friend. You know, you meet somebody that we always say that with business. Like someone comes in, you give them something, you're like, hey, here's the scripts, and then they come back a week later and they memorize them all. You're like, that dude's on board. Like he's all in. Yeah, that's how I felt about it too. Like if I give you content or something that I took, nothing pisses me off more than when I spend an hour listening to something and I feel it's gonna help somebody, that I shoot it to them. I'm like, hey, check this out. I just try to get into it. And then they don't. I'm like, man, I thought about you at that moment to give you that content. Specifically. And I can't expect to get anything back from it out of return. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm passionate about, like, I really think this is gonna be good for us. You know, you like listen to this. So I've got a lot better at that. But.
See, and that's good, man. Yeah, and that's the thing is like people will actually gradually see you evolve into this new person. Luckily, I'm riding shotgun to see this, which is good for me, because yeah, man, anything that stimulates mentally, that you can change your psyche, or not even your psyche, just the way you perceive yourself.
Just improvement, man.
Yeah.
Like you can't do the same thing over and over and over. Like we're not built that way to just to do that over and over and over. Like you got the job and I got it. Like, why not try to progress a little further or try to help out a different way? Or,
right.
I'm not saying go all in on health or anything like that, but, eat a little better at times and, or watch a little bit different shows, or, you may watch all the same shows you always watch, but maybe watch a different show sometime, but you have to do things to help grow, because if not, I feel like you're just going to be, it's going to be boring, mundane, and you're like, eventually you're just going to die. Like, so you almost kill yourself if you're not, like, you ever see these guys, these older guys that are just, or women that are just like, you're 70, you're 80, but they're like golfing and they're always participating in different stuff. And you're like, but then you look at someone who doesn't, and all they did was went to work and then went home and sat down and watched TV.
Yeah.
Just because you're getting older, or doesn't mean you can't stop learning,
right.
And you can't stop participating or being active. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what my thing is. Like, I got to keep growing, and I want to be with growers.
Now, within these past like 2 or 3 months, do you feel like you kind of, because there's a sense that I feel like when you're learning something new, you're like a little kid. You want to like soak it up like a sponge, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you've reignited that kid and you're just like soaking everything up more so now because you're passionate about this now?
Kind of. So just recently, I probably 6 weeks ago, let's say 7 weeks ago, I had lunch. So I still dealt with my divorce like hard. I mean, there's days it was, but that's in my personality, right? And I didn't realize that. Just that's a number 4. That's just, once we go backwards, we want to keep going, and we kind of keep going, and we want to keep pulling and stuff like that. So, there was a point where it was like one day I was just really having a rough night with it, thinking too much. And then the next day, my buddy Ishmael Ramirez, went to high school with him. We were never close. We just knew of each other, had some interaction and stuff like that. But we're all in the same business with each other. So, he does financial, maybe if I get this wrong, sorry, but like financial services, wealth planning and stuff like that for people. And we always bumping each other here or there. But one day, man, like it was crazy because he just texted me that next morning. Was like 2 people texted me. Somebody texted me and said, "I hope you're good." Mm-hmm. And then he texted me and said, "Hey, man, I was thinking about you. Do you want to grab lunch?" It was like, most of the times I'm like, I'm too busy. But I'm like, you know what? Yeah, man, I'll get lunch with you. So then we went to lunch and we just talked, man. He opened up about himself, his family, things that he's going through, and things that I didn't know about, and he'd been sharing stuff with me. And then he's Christian based, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think it was just that time. I've never had faith. I mean, I'm Catholic, so I just never hung my hat on, man, that. I just, I can do it myself.
Right.
Just like any man. I can do it myself. My ego says I can do it myself. When all else fails, I'll pick it up and I'll do it. And I have always rebuilt, fell apart, rebuilt, did the things I had to do to a certain, up until the divorce.
Right.
So it was funny that he was just at arm's length and he just touched me and was like, "Hey man, let's come to this group, the influencers." And I'm like, "What is it?" And he had mentioned it before. And he was like, "Well, it's a men's group at Bakersfield Christian High School." And I'm like, "What do I do?" He's like, "We just show up, a bunch of dude brothers are there, we break up in groups and we just talk about, just stuff that we're going through, whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." I'm never going to say no. I'm just kind of like, "All right, man, when is it? I'll go." So I went, there's a lot of people that I knew there, from big business to not big business, just to people, normal people. And the first day I went, man, everybody shares kind of like who they are, their stories and stuff like that. So you see just way different walks of life, man, from older to younger, and, and everybody kind of has their own kick, and no one's trying to solve each other's problems. They're just trying to just talk about it. And then we started reading this book. You have to read this book as homework, and we go back and talk about it. And we meet up every Friday morning at 6 to like 7:30, basically. man, you know, it doesn't cost anything. We just went. And so I was just like, I'm going to go. I'm like, yeah, it's 6 weeks, dude. I could commit 6 weeks. So then like our 6th week, I believe, is actually next Friday. But in the process, though, is I don't know, man. I'm like, I just felt like I was at the right place at the right time where I needed to be. I never prayed before. I just never. But I'm like I can't do this on my own anymore. Like I was like, you know what? I'm like, I can't be a great father anymore without something else there with me.
Okay.
I can't, you know, love again without something else. I can't love myself without something else. I've got myself to this point. I think I've educated myself on with what I'm doing. That the problem is I just have to let go.
Yeah. So it's like Jesus take the wheel, pretty much.
That's my thing, you know. And I've never had so many people be more receiving to it. Like, man, you know, no one's told me anything different. No one said no. Shit, my mom was like, yo, you need a babysitter. Go to all that shit.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's cool.
Mom was like, just go. I want you to go.
Yeah.
And you know, anybody that's kind of been around, you've been around for a couple of things we talked about and stuff like that. And, you know, you've been there in my corner. And I don't know, man. I just felt right, bro. So then you know, now it's another 9 months of every Friday. We're going to go camping this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you that one.
The N24. I was like, hey, just come through, you know. But it's cool, though, man. I mean, it just really was a good way to, like, vent and realize your problems aren't as big as others' problems. And then everybody has their own problems. And you realize, man, like, as men, we carry a lot on our shoulders, dude. And the reoccurring story was always just stuff, man, like, from our childhood that really got us, you know. Yeah. And then to me, you look at your kids, you would be stupid if you don't look at your kids and be like, what am I doing now that I knowingly am not seeing that can be damaging them for the future? You know, that I will deal with these problems with them later. Maybe they don't know how to communicate that stuff, right? Because
how do you, like, for myself, how would I be able to do that with going home? Hey, I'm instinctively doing this wrong, because in my eyes as a parent, I'm raising them the way I was raised with little tweaks, because it's not the same as when I was raised in the 80s. Things are different. So how is it that it's changed your perception? Hey, I need to do this differently. Is it from hearing the other stories to change?
Well, I mean, you know, because you can't really go into detail about stuff because
no, not
personal. But like, you see other people that have talked about, like, their children, you know, and they're older than me. And they're like, I have no connection with my child because I felt work had to come first all the time. Okay. And it makes you think about how often we're in there running around like, man, dude, like, it's all about work, and I'm putting on, you know, I'm doing this for us, and what can I buy you guys? And you just relate the stories to yourself, right? But then you get to see people that are actually going. But again, I think these are things you hear all the time from people. Right. Everybody will tell you, you know. But what happens is you have to be at a point in your life when you're ready for it. Like, you have to be at a point in your life when you're ready to accept either that faith, that walk, whatever the higher being, or just to read something and be like, yo, this touches me. Like, we all can go back to something and be like, hey, man, that really, really touched me. That made a change in my life, like that book did. So it's just chain of events. It's just whether you're going to be a dumbass and be like, I'm not going to listen to what's talking to me, or you're just going to keep doing your thing and just keep dealing with the same results.
Right.
What else? I mean, what else can I lose by trying to be a better person or be a better man? But initially, it has to be for me. So So can I go back to, like, how do you be a better father? Like, I can be a better father by being just a better man, continuing to try to grow intellectually, and then, you know, lovingly. And then, I mean, obviously I don't do what my dad does, and I'm way different than my dad. If you know my dad compared to me, nothing against him. And then also how to forgive, like, man, you know, it wasn't your fault, Dad. I mean, like, whatever we went through, that was the best of your ability, how you knew how to love. But there's a point where it's just like, come on. Like, I can't keep pointing fingers. I got to just say, hey, I got to do this on my own. So they will see initially when your kids know you don't have to tell your kids you're happy.
They know. Yep.
You can lie all you want, and you know that. I mean, we can do this, dance in front of them all the time, but they know. They can see it on your face. They just know. They can feel your vibes, your energy. Yeah. So if I love myself and I have a great connection with the Lord, it feels weird saying that, but if I do, you know, because that's not my vocabulary, but if I do, they're going to see that. And the best way I can give back to them, man, is by being an example.
Yeah.
And to show them, hey, because kids, you guys have been there. You've seen the struggles. You've seen everything we went through, the ups, the downs, you know, the divorce, the separate, just all that. They've seen it, you know, but no matter what, I've developed faith and nothing could knock us down. And for that, I'm not going to push them to be like, you need to show up and go to church. I don't. Because I heard that all my life until I was 36, bro. And I barely said it's time to go when it's time to go. And I felt now it's time for me. I'm going by myself. I'm not needing nobody else to with me.
Yeah, and that's the best thing you could do, because once you establish that fact that this is what I need to feed my inner soul, spirit, whatever it is, then I think that makes the experience a lot more welcoming.
Yeah.
Like, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna go this weekend with you. I don't expect I'm gonna right,
I don't have what's gonna happen either.
And that's the thing is I'm just going to experience and see. You know what I mean? And put myself in that position. Maybe it might be right for me, it might be not be. But at least I'm trying, because I do have a form of faith. I do believe in God. Am I a practicing religious Catholic? Every day? No, I don't talk about God all the time. I like you. I feel like I can connect with him anytime. I do go to church when I try to go to church when I can with the family, and I'll say my prayers. But to say that I fully engage and do it 110% like most people do, I can't. But that's just me being honest. I'm gonna have my time where I'm just gonna go ahead.
It's funny. So it's funny you bring that up, right? So you can think bro, I've never read a Bible.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even know how to buy a Bible. I'm like, what Bible do you buy? How many Bibles are there? Right. I'm really embarrassed. Right. I've never prayed. I never thought there was a right way. So when I'm there, nobody makes fun of you. Nobody makes you feel uncomfortable. You're like, well, I don't know how to pray. Well, just talk to them like you're having a regular conversation. I'm like, people will ask questions. You're just listening. You're going so what I'm saying is there's this, I feel like there's this whole mystique about because you come across people who are real quick, I come across people, and the minute it's almost like being a freaking vegan. You don't always want to mention it to anybody. Yeah. People are going to kind of test you. Yep. Shout out to Ed. But what I'm finding out is if I mention it, people are real quick oh, have you read this? Or have you even read the Bible? I'm like, whoa, take it easy. Slow down. This is my walk, not yours. And I don't know, it's because they're overly excited, but then you have the far left, far right, so everybody's all into it. But one thing the book teaches you is when you're reading this book, it's it's like baby feeding, man. It's like you didn't start off as a kid and start eating steak. Nope. You started off, with soft, and then you moved to a little hard. And that's kind of the concept with it. They're taking you from the point where you're starting off here, and they're progressing you through it.
But it's at your own pace, right? Because you're like, okay, I want this. That's a little bit too much, and you slow it down.
Well, no, they don't. I mean, you still have. Well, the other kicker too is you. This is something you do every day, right? So I'm also relating this to the kids, the gym, work. Because it relates, so every day, you have to pray. Every day you have to pray whenever you get a chance. Every day you that's kind of the concept, right? Maybe not asking for anything or for forgiveness or just guidance or just whatever you have in your heart. Yeah. But that's kind of like the work, right? You have to show up and make contacts every day, because the contacts are going to get you appointments, and those appointments are going to get you, listings, or they're turning into checks, right? There's the daily routine. Okay. So what happens is I'm watching this and I'm listening to people talk, and they're like, yeah, man, a lot of times the daily routine is just I show up at church on Sunday and that's it. Mm-hmm. But what about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What are you doing during the week? How connected are you? So that's I show up to the gym on Sunday only. How do you expect to get those results? So how do you expect to have a clearer mind, or how do you expect to become better? So kind of with the Enneagram stuff, how do I expect to really take it all in? If I can give that to my job, I should be able to give that type of thing to my children, to my spouse, to religion, to faith. Why not be? So what I'm saying is it's a daily practice. So the same thing with being in a relationship. Even now, I mean, you've been married for almost 20 years, I guess, or 20 years. So there should be no difference from the first point that you got here to here. You every morning, that's something we forget. I love you, or how are you? Or, do you what's different between now and then? Just time.
Yeah, little things.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the little things are going to take you away. The little things, the further away you get from it, that helps you lose it. So you see a lot of people too, they're like, oh, I'm coming back because I just stopped practicing. The other thing too is a lot of times people will run to that because it's something catastrophic happened. God, I got a divorce, I gotta go, or something happened. So now I'm here. I'm here now. Help me now. So then I related this to business, right? I'm something so I'm in debt. I got into this job and I'm gonna get myself out of debt. And then you get yourself out of debt, right? And I used to always say this to other agents. I'm like, well, what are you gonna do when you pay off all your debt? I don't know. What's your next goal? How do you keep progressing going forward if your goal is just this, right? So if my goal is just to go in there because I got a divorce and be oh, I'm sad, help fix this and take this away. And then it goes away. Like, and then I'm going to stop practicing. Like, nah, that wasn't my goal. My goal is to go in there because I want to find myself. My goal is because I want to have faith. I want to have a walk, with him side by side. I want to learn it because I just want to do it daily. Like, why not? You know what I mean? What do I have to lose? So again, it's with the kids, it's like, if I wake up, be great, when they're acting fucking crazy and they're all on the tables or eating, it's like, I can get mad. I can understand my personality. I'm going to get mad, right? Or I can just be like, they're just kids. They're just being kids.
Yeah.
Be grateful for that, because I could not have them doing that. Or they're going to be a little older and they're going to be a little older and they're not going to want to hang out with you at all. A lot of people are always, you're talking in the moment, like, oh man, my kids are this way. Then, they get older. They're just like, oh, bye dad.
Yeah.
And then you don't see them until then, like we're only given so much time, and time is the only thing we can't control, and it's leaving every single day. One of the things that I wish I had it here, but I had it written down somewhere. But one thing, when I went to Disneyland to go meet my brother, Melissa took me to the store and we just clicked. Like, it's funny because she just showed me something. It was like a piece of wood and there's writing on it. And she's like, here, read this. And I'm like, I read it. I posted it on my Instagram a lot. It was talking about, this is the only day you're going to get. Make the best of it, because like you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get that day back type of situation.
Right.
You could look at that and that doesn't maybe mean something to you as much as it meant to me. So again, that just at that moment, I'm accepting of what I'm looking at. I'm like, that makes sense.
Well, I think that's what happens with a lot of people, because there was one thing that I read, that whenever you're happy and you listen to a song, you listen to the music, like, oh my God, that's a good beat, the drum beat, the guitar, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But when you're in the state of mind of like feeling upset or disgruntled or something, you pay attention more to the lyrics. So at that point in time, you're probably right. The way you were feeling a certain kind of way, or where your head was at, you read that, you embedded that, you're like, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Versus someone else would be like, oh, cool.
Well, right. Well, here you go. So like, hey, check this. So like the other part is I'm a 4. So something like that's going to speak to me more versus another personality type. Yeah. So let's say I'm dating somebody or married, and I'm like, wow, that really made a difference in my life. And they're like, really? Like, now you can get mad. I can be like, oh, you don't respect my heart was on the, that was it. Like, I was passionate about that. That's what I mean. When I would listen to that stuff, I'm like, oh, you got to understand, like, not everybody's going to feel that way. You can't give somebody something always expecting to get something in return. Cause that's you know what I mean? So that's kind of it. So that Enneagram thing. So anyways, there's a church in Fresno. I think I have a bunch of them, but she sent me a link to it, and it's called Sandals. Like just sandals or sandals. I believe so. But dude, so like he teaches Christian-based preaching, but then he also uses the Enneagram in there. So now, like, oh, you're going through this, but you don't understand the reason you're going through this is because this is you. Like, this is your personality. With that, yeah, dude. So like now I'm getting the best of both worlds. Like, not only am I just getting this, I'm kind of like getting what I'm in. I'm like, oh shit, okay, like that. That makes sense, right? So like when I'm listening to this shit, I'm just like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, heck yeah, dude. That's right. Think about this before someone says something. So it's overall, man, I'm just kind of excited about where this is going to lead. I think we've talked about like some of the plans that I kind of have gearing to outside of just real estate, I guess, in a sense, with what I want to do and stuff like that.
Well, you can bridge it too if you wanted to. You're going to be successful. You're all right in either one, really, no matter what you do. Because, we've talked about it, and I definitely see you doing that in the future. And, it's right around the corner, I think, man. But
so I think exactly, really cool, man, we are where we need to be at the time that we need to be, around who we need to be.
Right.
And we just need to be aware of that. So me learning this, going through this it's good because I can share the experience of like, hey man, look at things for me like that, or try to look at this content and be that way. And then you can give it back to me the opposite way, because you have to, man, you have to be around other people that are open to looking at themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
not everyone is. Everyone's really quick. Their ego is the first thing that comes up. No, that ain't me. I can't do that.
And the other part is like, you just got to know when to be like, okay, that's cool. Like, they're not about that life. So that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Like, you can't press that upon them. You're not going to be running around trying to force that down anybody's throat, right? Yeah. But you naturally, the people that are okay with that will rise to the top. And a lot of it, man, comes from just you taking off the mask. Like, a lot of it comes from you just being open with you're hurt, or you being open and vulnerable. And not even vulnerable. Honestly, if you can tell people what hurts you or what bugs you, and you're open and honest about that for those things, like, I don't think that's vulnerable. I think that's more strong and courageous than somebody who hides it.
Right.
Because there's no power in that. Like, now it's like you're talking about it. You hear people talking, you're like, they're talking about how they got raped or how something happened, right? But they're speakers, and you're like, they have this conversation so much. Like, how does it not take them back to that over and over? What are you taking the power from it?
Yeah.
And because of that openness, people can gravitate and be like, man, I'm going through that too. And then they start talking about it. And they start talking. So it's just the openness is what helps. I think you really just understand to take the weight off your shoulders. You can just be who you got to be when you got to be.
Now, question, do you think that there's only certain people can handle that? Because sometimes when you open up to someone, I feel like they're real quick to criticize. Oh, well, that's because of this. You should have known this and da, 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 da. Like trying to fix your problems for you. And you're like, well, I just want to get off my chest. I'm looking for a solution, Because sometimes, what's happened to me, well, I'll vent to someone and they're like, well, this and this. Well, you should have done this differently. You should have done this differently. But then you think, you've never been through that experience before, so how was it that you can kind of help out?
Yeah.
So my question is,
do you just vent to anybody?
Do you vent to anybody?
No. I think it becomes a rhythm, like almost where once you can identify with who you can talk to that way and who you can't, right?
Okay.
So you look at it like a client. Like, there's some clients you can be extra aggressive with, there's some that you can't. There's some that you have to be a little persuasive, so that you have to chill back and be real relaxed.
Yeah.
So before you're saying anything, you kind of assess the situation, kind of like with them. And I think almost you can have a conversation with them, and then it's always form based, right? I remember, it's what is it? It's the future, occupation, recreational, and then motivation. Or family. Form is family, occupational, recreational, and motivation. So when they say, like, if you have a hard time talking to people, like I heard that from Mike. God damn, I can't. Mike.
Still?
No. We were in a mastermind group together. Dude owns a wooden nickel.
Okay.
I can't think of his name. Okay. Oh, I lost it, but sorry.
Wooden nickel Mike.
Dude, legit. He's legit. So anyways, he said form. It's like, so always when you meet people, don't just dump on them and talk about yourself. It's how's your family? How's work? How are things going outside of work? And, kind of what are you looking to get into next? Motivation. And so when you're kind of running that with somebody, because it helps you with the conversation, you're going to figure out, like, are they, like, if they're giving you back, like, you ask me that, I'm going to dump on you, like, oh shit, crazy, I went through a divorce and fucking, oh my God, like, business went down a little bit, I had to just get my shit together, I'm going to trip. Now you're going to be like, oh, I can probably talk to this guy. But if I'm real closed off, like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
You're probably you're not going to want to have that conversation with them about like what's going on with you. So you kind of just find that groove with people, right? And I think naturally, the more you just kind of talk a little bit more about it, people will naturally just kind of get drawn to you. And a lot of times it's just because, man, a lot of times people just want to become better, right? And they don't know how to, or they've never had an example, man. It's so much easier to find poor influences of individuals to hang out with than it is to find the ones that are real, or to find the ones that are at least willing to try to go into the opposite direction, or even if they're saying it, at least they're doing it going forward.
I think it's scary, man, because how do you've been, I guess, molded to think a certain way all this time that you're like, okay, this is the right way. I don't know any different. And sometimes they just don't want to look in the mirror and be like, well, yeah, you know what? I'm kind of fucked up. I did this. I shouldn't have, Right. So what would you say to someone, because, you're 36 years young, you're doing these news experiences now. How would you convey to someone like, hey, look, man, just take your time, find who you are, love yourself, and just be open to, would you say constructive criticism, or how would you put it?
I don't know, man. It's more like a feeling. Like, I think when you talk to people, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. I don't think initially it's like, hey man, how's your life? I think initially it's something that's just as small as like, hey, you want to go lunch? And it's just like, you just have a conversation with them, man. But you generally have to care about who you're going to go talk to, right? Like, you just really want to make that time for them. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, before I get into that, I used to operate so fast. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. But I've started making more time to spend more time with people. So like, oh, I gotta be back in the office in 30 minutes. But I really don't have an appointment. Let's just say I want a prospect. I'm like, man, well, what kind of conversation can we have in the next 30 minutes that may be impactful to this person or impactful to me? right? That I didn't get within the first hour of hanging out with them. It's okay to have that extra 30 minutes with them, right? Like I may get more life experience out of that than I will here. So like this morning, you know, when I'm talking to Tony, I knew I had a prospect. And at first, the first part of me was like, God damn, I got to get to prospecting. Mm-hmm. But then we start having these conversations. And then I think to myself, for him to come in the office and sit there and to have an open conversation with me about things like that, I have to respect the man's time that he did that for me. So I'm not going to run him out because I'm going to get something from him. And today, that was probably the best information I got all day was to just be able to have a conversation with him.
Nice.
But again, you know, you can overlook it and just be like, nah, you know, I got to keep doing things and stuff like that, you know. So when you ask me, like, how do you have a conversation with somebody about kind of like either finding themselves, which I don't know myself yet, but I'm still working on it, but like to have this kind of turn about, you can't have that conversation until you're already dealing with it with yourself. So if you're not living it yourself or I think really taking that in and trying to get better, you can't. It's like, how do I tell you to eat healthier or work out more, but I'm on the couch fucking chilling,
eating potato chips.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But if I'm living my life by that design and I'm, you know, you see me, like, it's like your kids, like they don't listen to what you say, they watch what you do. So people, that's the same thing with adults, man. Like I can get on there and be like this and that, but they're going to watch what I'm actually doing. Right. So I'm doing what I'm doing, not for the benefit of anybody to give me back anything and be like, oh, he's just doing it. Like, I'm just doing it because I'm doing it for myself. And because we have social media, I can share that experiences with it because it can reach out further to people that may be in the same boat as me. And maybe just one day they want to sit down and talk. And maybe that conversation of all the shit I had to go through, I don't want you to go through, you know, having 4 kids, getting a divorce, splitting the family, splitting this, you know what I mean? Like going through 3 DUI. Yeah, it's just crazy, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, to, you know, having nothing to something, you know, so having a lot and then figuring out that like, holy shit, I had more problems now than I did when I was just working at, you know, in shape, you know? So, but you gradually, when you're living that way, people are just going to come to you and it's just easier for that because you can't make somebody, you know, go through that. And people are or want to change the same way, like at our age, you know, it's harder to change. So something has to happen catastrophic for you to be like, oh shit, I gotta live my life different. Yeah. Before 30, I think it's like 25 and under or something like that. You can still change as an individual without having to have something catastrophic happen. So, you know, I'm not waiting for something catastrophic to happen for somebody to be like, hey, guess what? Like, but naturally when that happens and you're like, okay, now what, you know? Or you're either going to regress back to you at your worst, which maybe it's you going and drinking, maybe it's you going and partying, maybe it's you just going and doing all the bad shit that you have, you know, but that can happen. Or you can acknowledge it quick and be like, I need to get back around an inner circle. Yeah. And my honest advice for anybody who's going through anything, man, like that, you got to get around people that you can just freaking talk to, dude. Like, you have to get around people you can talk to. Yeah. Because you can't fix that shit yourself. You can't talk to yourself enough. You can't read enough. Like, you have to say, man, this is my life right now, and it's a hot mess. And then you got to, like, maybe they're not offer you a solution. They just be like, hey, man, I don't know what you're going through, but if you want to talk, just tell me anytime you want to talk. Yeah. And that's all you need to hear.
Just an open ear.
That's it, bro. Yeah. Just an open ear. Like, that's the best thing sometimes.
And that's hard. It sounds easy enough to say to go ahead and do something like that, but you know, you do come across those people in your lives that those are the I told you so. I hate those fuckers. I hate them because I feel like either one, they say that either out of jealousy or envy or something purposely, or they just don't want to see you succeed. Like, I told you so. I told you so. Instead of, hey, look, you know what? I'm sorry you went through that, you know.
But I think you can almost identify those people, though. Like if you look back at like I told you so, you probably can pick them out before you even get to that point.
Yeah.
The person that told you that when you're going to get into real estate, the person that told you that when you're going to quit FedEx, like that's probably not the person you're going to go rely on. Like I had all these close friends, and you know, I hope no one takes it wrong, but I mean, the people that were always there,
but weren't there.
Yo, fam, do you know how many of them called me when I got a divorce? You know how many of them called me to ask how I was? Yeah, I can even count them on my finger. But oh shit, we want to go out, want to get a drink, or anyone want to go out of town? All day they're there.
Yeah.
We want to watch a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I've realized when the entertainment aspect out of it was, and reality was there, like, you know, where were you at to have a conversation and be like, you good?
Yeah.
But what I realized was the ones that were asking that if I was good were ones that I never thought would have asked. And then then naturally I gravitated and had a better relationship with them going forward. You being one of them, like, hey man, I thought that brought us a lot closer to this. It's like, hey man, how are you doing? I'm like, fuck, no one's ever asked me that, right?
Yeah.
No one, they were asking me, they wanted something in return out of it. That's at least what I thought. But but to the people that maybe didn't call in, that's cool, man. Like that's I don't hold no grudges. That's just you. That's just you. But if you go through something, I'm gonna ask you if you're all right. I'm gonna ask you if you're good, because I don't expect for you to give that back to me now. I just expect that as a human, man, it sucks to be in that situation.
Yeah. And so you want to give back that way and be there for them because you don't want anyone to feel the way you felt?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure, man. I don't think it's, you look at like you rank the top things that people are like the most devastating things, like to people in life. And I think like, it's like losing a child or a spouse is like number one. I think number two is divorce. And like, to me, I'm like, yo, like that's the reason why people kill themselves.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't accept the reality of that, right? Like, hey, dude, this shit, you can, like you can self-destruct, but you can pull yourself out of it. You're not alone. You pull yourself out of it with the crew, and you realize like you're just as strong going forward. Like, didn't kill me, I'll be good.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying? So then that's kind of like, finding faith. I mean, like, why not? Like, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, just dope. But it's been cool though, man. Like going to these things, because the people that are there, man, like they're just, dude, they've been through shit too, bro. Like you're just like, damn, like you just kind of naturally click with each other. You're like, oh, you've been through stuff, I've been through stuff,
and it's all genuine.
And as men, dude, we're just sharing it, When as men, we can't really ever get an opportunity to share it because you think people are gonna judge you. You think people are like, oh, you're not strong enough, or you can really like. Yeah. Then you start realizing, as you get older, you realize that you're kind of like, oh shit, man, like people really are. Sometimes it really isn't like that, So that's where I must feel.
And that's good to know, because I mean. And that's the thing, is like, just that's your form of growing and learning something new and actually evolving into a better person, man. And I mean, I don't know if I've told you enough, man, but I appreciate you making those changes, and I see those changes because you're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it for yourself. And when I noticed that change in yourself, unwillingly it flowed out to everyone, like all the goodness, everything that you want to do. Like, and I see that with your kids more so now than before. You're very engaged with what they're doing, what they care about, and you're still dad, and you're showing them that you love them your own way. Yeah, and I think that's awesome, dude. So whenever I come over, I see Brixton and Bailey jump. Hey, what's up, Brixton? Hey, Bailey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, Jose, what's up? Cool. They're just genuinely happy, man, and that's so cool. And you get to enjoy that every day.
Oh yeah, man, for sure, dude.
You, right?
I appreciate that. But yeah, I said, awesome, man, I think it's just having a good core group of just individuals right now, man. You being one of them. There's a couple people in the corner. I'm just there to be able to have a conversation with stuff like that. So it's just been a group effort, man. 100%.
For every day.
Yeah, I said, cool, man.
Well, shoot, man. I mean,
we got 3 minutes left. We chop up in the last 3 minutes.
Okay.
Joker movie.
Oh, we're going. This Friday, dude, is going to be good. It is going to be lit. I think Joaquin Phoenix, I really hope he personifies the character to. I expect Joaquin Phoenix to go above and beyond, better even than the original Joker. Yeah, because I think his acting is so good that I think the way Christian Bale portrayed Batman and how good it was, I want him to do the same for the Joker, and I think they can totally build off that. Yeah, it's going to be so good, man.
That's going to be a dope movie right there for sure.
Antonio Brown on your fantasy. Antonio Brown's out now.
Fantasy, man, I think I'm I gotta check my stats, but I think I'm gonna be like 2-1 right now, or 2-2.
2-2? Oh, so. I'm 2-2 too. It's all right. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Except for the Garoppolo. It's the whole team. I had him pick Garoppolo as his starting quarterback, and he was giving me shit about it. And I was like, it's a group effort.
It was a group effort.
Yeah, it was good though. But
any tricks coming up? Plan anything that you guys gonna be doing?
No, man. Just trying to prep for Halloween. Prep for Halloween. Spartan race, October 27th. So that is going to be a good episode to watch.
October 27th, we're going to do the Spartan race.
In Lebec, California.
Lebec. So these something we've been trying to prep for as much as we possibly can.
Yep.
I don't know.
My boy here, you see that already?
I'm trying to get rid of that, man. That's to slow me down.
All right, everyone.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining.
So, yeah, we're going to try to put it on more often. I mean, we got to make that commitment again. We had that talk today, a little Will coming to God at the table. Like, we need to get this shit back together.
Yep. The boys are back in town. So, if you're just checking in right now, please go to YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. Put a stamp on it podcast. You can rewind and check out everything that you missed earlier in the day. We thank you guys so much.
Follow. If you like anything about it, you want to drop any comments, man, hit us up in the DM anytime. Anything that you feel that we could do better or anything that we did good, man, that's maybe touched you. Appreciate you watching.
Thank you.
Be on the lookout for the videos and share.
All right. Have a good night.